8.6 is the law of cosines. And for any triangle ABC, the law of cosines relates the cosine of each angle to the side lengths of the triangle. Again, this is a non-right triangle, but you can't use the law of sines, so you got to go to the law of cosines. Now, copy these down. The a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. It sounds like a lot, and if you had to memorize all three of them, it wouldn't be a lot, but honestly, it just follows the same pattern. So, yes, it's a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a, but I'll talk about that more in a second here. Problem 1, using side angle side, they want you to solve for b, so that's between AC. Now, see how 44 degrees is right here? You want to take with a side across from the 44 degrees. Much like you would identify hypotenuse, you want to identify the side across from the angle that you have or that you're looking for, and that's where you're going to start. So we're going to start with b, so it's b squared equals, now you're done with the b, okay? So you don't have to deal with b anymore. It's going to be the other two sides, which is 10 squared plus 22 squared minus 2 times 10 times 22 times the cosine of that 44 degrees. So always start with the side opposite the angle, either one you're looking for or two they give you. Okay, and that's what you go from there. So let's reduce this. B squared equals, punch this in your calculator first. Okay, you end up with 22 squared plus 10 squared, and that gives me 584 minus, and you can straight punch all this in your calculator just like it looks. That equals roughly 316.5095 and some decimals. Now again, I wouldn't round here. Okay, I would hit b squared equals, and I hit 584 minus, and then second your answer. That way you're not rounding there. That gives me 267.490 and some change. Again, don't round. Hit second square root, hit second answer on your calculator, and take the square root of that whole answer, and this is where you would round. And we're looking to the nearest tenth, so we would go 16.4. And again, what we're doing here is taking the square root of both of these. Problem 2, in triangle TUV, TU equals 4.4, UV equals 7.1, and TV equals 6.7. Find the measurement of angle V. So again, got to draw your triangle. And it doesn't matter what this triangle looks like, I just kind of default to that. TUV. And they said that TU is 4.4, UV is 7.1, and TV is 6.7. So we're looking for angle V, which is right here. So what's across from angle V? That's 4.4. So it's 4.4 squared equals, now you're done with the 4.4, 7.1 squared plus 6.7 squared minus 2 times 7.1 times 6.7 times the cosine of V. Now, obviously punch this in, and then this stuff here. And don't calculate any of that together. So 4.4 squared is going to be 19.36 equals, now punch that in, 7.1 squared plus 6.7 squared. It's going to give me 95.3 minus, and then punch in that, 2 times 7.1 times 6.7. That's going to give me 95.14 times the cosine of V. Remember, the cosine of V, you're solving for V, so that's your variable. So we got to solve for that thing. So now how do I do that? Well, let's subtract the 95.3 first. So I get 19.36 minus 95.3. That gives me negative 75.94. Watch your signs. Negative 75.94 equals negative 95.14 cosine V. Now again, treat this like a variable, like x. Who cares? Okay, how do I break that apart? Well, this is negative 95.14 times cosine of V. So I'm going to go ahead and divide by negative 95.14, divided by negative 95.14. 0.14. That gives me the cosine of V equals 0.798 and some change, dot, dot, dot. That's what I'm trying to write there. So, again, don't round there. How do I solve for V? Back to the last couple chapters, take the inverse cosine of both sides. That cancels. I get V here. Again, second cosine, second answer in your calculator. You get 37.1 degrees. Problem 3 talks about a plane is 2.1 kilometers due south of a tower. Let's call the tower here. And the first plane is 2.1 kilometers south of that. So we'll call that plane A. A second plane is 3.5 kilometers, 75 degrees east of north. So let's say north is this way here. Okay, 75 degrees east of north is going to be this way. This is where this is tough. This angle right there is 75 degrees. And I'll call that plane B. That's 3.5. How far apart are the planes? So we want to know that distance there. This is why it's important to understand directions. East of north, north is going up. It's not east of the tower, it's east of the north of the tower. So and that's where that becomes important. So we end up with 75 degrees here. How do we get this angle? Use a different color. How do we get this angle right here? Well, again, I'm going to take 180 minus 75 degrees. They're supplementary because they form a straight line. Minus 75. That gives me 105 degrees. Now, start opposite that angle. Okay, well, that's x. So x squared equals 2.1 squared plus 3.5 squared minus 2 times 2.1 times 3.5 times the cosine of 105. Again, you could straight plug this in like it looks in the calculator. I do it by parts. X squared equals, so 2.1 squared plus 3.5 squared is 16.66. Minus, you punch all that in your calculator, you end up with a negative 3.8046. And again, some change, don't round there. Punch that in, you get x squared equals 20.46 dot, 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 dot. Again, some change. Do not round until the very end. Then you take the square root of the whole thing, you end up with x equals 4.5, roughly.